Act 1. A Spanish duke swears an oath of celibacy and turns the rule of his kingdom over to his sadistic and tyrannical twin brother. He learns some fantastical feats of magic and sets sail for the golden age of Greece, along with his daughters, 3 beautiful and virginal sets of identical twins. While rounding the heel of Italy, the duke's ship is caught in a terrible tempest which, in its fury, casts the duke up on a desert island, along with the loveliest and most virginal of his daughters. This innocent vision of loveliness stumbles into a dark cave where she is molested by an inhuman green fish creature who symbolizes the extreme right wing of the Republican Party.
Act 2. The long-lost children of the Duke's brother also, coincidentally, 3 sets of identical twins, have just arrived in Italy. Though still possessed of an inner nobility, they are ragged, destitute, penniless, flea-infested shadows of the men they once were, and in the utmost extremity are forced to borrow money from an old Jew, who deceives them into putting down their brains as collateral on the loan. Meanwhile, the 6 brothers fall in love with 6 Italian sisters, 3 of whom are contentious, sharp-tongued little shrews, while the other 3 are submissive, airheaded little bimbos.
Act 3. The shipwrecked, identical daughters of the Duke wash up on the shores of Italy, disguise themselves as men, and become pages to the shrews and matchmakers to the Duke's brother's sons. They lead all the lovers into a nearby forest where, on a midsummer's night, a bunch of mischievous fairies squeeze the aphroditic juice of a hermaphroditic flower in the shrews' eyes, causing them to fall in love with their own pages, who in turn have fallen in love with the Duke's brother's sons, while the Queen of the Fairies seduces a jackass, and they all have a lovely bisexual animalistic orgy.
Act 4.
The elderly fathers of the Italian sisters, finding their daughters missing, dispatch messages to the pages, telling them to kill any man in the vicinity.
However, unable to find men in the forest, the faithful messengers, in a final misguided act of loyalty, deliver the messages to each other and kill themselves.
Meanwhile, the inhuman green fish creature and the Duke arrive in the forest disguised as Norwegians and for no apparent reason perform a 2-man underwater version of Frozen on ice.
Act 5. The Duke commands the fairies to right their wrongs.
The pages and the bimbos get in a knockdown, drag-out fight in the mud.
During which the pages' clothes get ripped off, revealing female genitalia!
The Duke recognizes his daughters.
The Duke's brother's sons recognize their uncle.
The magician turns the fish creature into a newt who becomes Speaker of the House.
And they all get married and go out to dinner.
Except for a minor character in the second act who gets eaten by a bear. Oh, and the Duke's brother's sons who are unable to pay back the old Jew and give themselves lobotomies.
And they all live happily ever after.